in-game communication. This is something that I've been thinking about lately and have talked a little bit with the other officers about. I think it's we are really close to being excellent at. I mean, I think more than any other team probably we're excelling at this, but something that I think we still need to improve on. And I just want to go over a couple things. And I realized too that we never really officially went over proper communications with a lot of the newer guys. Some of the core players, such as myself, Kyle, Cruz, Miami, we kind of have this already ingrained in our heads, and we're used to playing this style. We've been doing it for years, so it's kind of second nature. Doesn't mean that we aren't making some of the mistakes I'm going to talk about, or that we can't improve in some of these areas, because we definitely can. I know myself included. I've got to to get a little cleaner with my communications and be realize when my and I think the biggest thing too being just the biggest issue with our team communications has been complaining, in-game complaining, and mostly about deaths. Somebody gets shot, and then you want to vent, you want to complain about it, you want to say why, yeah, it's lagging, this happened, why aren't you doing this? All stuff that has just got to stop. For me, the biggest thing, and my pet peeve, what I really think throws off our momentum in game and just completely congests our comms is just swearing up a storm after you get shot, because that's what it starts with, and then it becomes the vent. Well, this is why it happened, and hey, did you see this? And I can't believe that. Blah blah blah. It takes 15, 20, sometimes 30 seconds just to get a communication out, when really that should be a 1 to 2 second call out. Because I get maybe you're struggling in game, and everybody does this, myself included. You're having a rough game, you're getting shot, you want to vent about it. You want to, F this, blah, 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 and then you want to vent about it, and this is why it happened, because you're trying to make an excuse for yourself and for your team. You feel like you're letting them down, so you need to let them know that you're upset, and, your way of doing that is swearing up a storm. But really the best thing you can be doing for your team and for you to make yourself more valuable is to just be making clear, concise communications. You want to vent about it after the game, or even maybe after we've reestablished our lines and everything is running smooth again, and you want to say hey, this is what's going on with me, blah blah blah, hey, I'm sorry, whatever it might be, fine. But in the moment, in game, when things are happening, the comms have got to be clear, concise, quick, to the point. That way, not only do we know that, hey, your position is down, but guys that are supposed to make moves to counteract that, or to reestablish our lines, or to help you get reestablished, know what's going on, and then we can get back, into running the game plan smooth again as fast as possible. Lately, I know comms have been congested a ton, and that's the biggest reason why. It's because people are swearing up a storm after you get shot, and then going into vent mode after that, and it's congesting things up a lot. I think if we can cut that down and just get to kind of take the emotion out of it in the moment, and just okay, position down, and then kind of reset and reestablish yourself, we're going to have much better games. I know that's not easy. There's games that I'm struggling and where I do that as well. I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it. I think I do a pretty good job of staying kind of emotionally level-headed during games, but I know as a team we've got to work on that. I noticed one thing it's doing too is when you have one guy having a rough game, it can easily turn into 2 or 3 guys having a rough game, because that guy starts complaining. It causes this guy to start playing, more aggressive, or trying to adjust for what's going on, and then he's having a bad game, and now he's complaining, and now the other side that might be having a perfect game going on, they're kind of getting frustrated because just the whole team comms in general is kind of just turned into like one big, venting session. So biggest thing I think we got to do to cut down on this and just start having better games in general is, clean up the comms, clean up the chat. More concise, clear communication point. If we want to vent after, that's fine. That's cool. I mean, we should be doing that. But in game, let's get it, keep it to the point. That's just the biggest pet peeve I have right now going on with the comms, and it's an easy fix. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to vent, but let's just stay, emotionally smart, position down or up, and we'll just, move on from there. Kind of brings me to my second point, though, about the communications. I want to start getting away from, hey, that I'm down or I'm up, and be more position specific about it. If you're playing the left side, hey, left side's down, left side's up. Not I'm up, I'm down, because that puts a lot of strain on everybody else, especially with switching players in and out so much because we have more players now. Sometimes, I know myself personally, I forget even who's in the lobby because we're switching people out so much. So I might not know where that position is. You saying I'm down, it may literally go straight over my head, and I didn't realize that you're my partner, or you're playing a position where I'm going to get hit now because you're down. So we need to be position specific about it, and it's got to be quick. If you're on the left side, left's up, left's down. Not let's try to stay away from the I'm down, I'm up thing. It's especially when you've made it kind of a I don't know what's the word. Made it like a habit, I guess, of doing that. It's hard to break, but let's start working on it in a game. Let's try to get back to more clear, position-specific call-outs. So that's really all I got to say about that. Other than that, really only other thing with call-outs or in-game communications that I wanted to kind of bring up is one, the score streaks. I want to get back to using score streaks more effectively, meaning if you have especially a big score streak like a AC-130 or a gunship in this game, or a strike team, anything that might affect spawns or put you out of your position, you need to call that out or let your team know first before you use that, and make sure that they're taking precautions or making changes that they have to make in order to protect our spawns before you put that up. I know it's tempting. You see that score streak come up, you're excited, you want to hit Y right away, throw it up there. Let's be smarter about it. Make sure you make that call out, let your team know it's coming, give them a second or two to adjust. You can't just throw it up there. Make sure they're ready for it, and that'll cause a lot less of the spawn issues that we've been having from time to time, where guys are spawning behind us because we're overloading the area with score streaks. Lastly, as far as communications go in this video, where was that? Okay, yeah. So we're going to have one guy responsible for making the big game time decisions. It's going to be most likely a captain. It can be any officer, though. It's just got to be established pre-game who's going to be in charge of that map. And that is that guy that's going to be making decisions such as when we're flipping spawns, or if we're going to push aggressive on a certain side, or how we're going to play something in-game. We've had there's a problem because there's 2, 3, maybe even 4 guys kind of all trying to make call-outs, and I get it. It's confusing, and we haven't done anything to establish any kind of sense of command in-game. So we're going to put that or implement that now. Again, it's most likely going to be one of the captains, probably myself or Kyle, if we're playing in-game. But it really could be any officers, including sergeants as well. But we're going to establish it pre-game, in the pre-game lobby, who's going to be in charge of that in that game. And whatever they say, as far as like, spawn flips and stuff like that goes. Even if they're making a poor decision, and what you think is a poor decision, we're all going to go along with what that guy says, because it's going to, in the long run, avoid a lot of confusion, and it should kind of make us a more precise team, and we're going to be able to flip spawns more appropriately, and kind of just establish the game plan without having so much confusion. So anyways, I know they dragged down a little bit, guys, sorry. Just, again, as a kind of review, let's try to stop the complaining, in-game complaining and the venting. I think it's clogging up communications a lot. Let's just go back to more precise, clean, quick call-outs. Make sure we're position specific on our call-outs. Score streaks. Let's make sure we're letting our team know before we're putting up big score streaks that might put you out of your position, or especially ones that are going to affect our spawns. And from now on, we're just going to make sure to establish a commander per game. And he's going to be making the decisions in game, and whatever that guy says is pretty much what goes. Right, wrong, decision, however you feel about it, doesn't matter. We're establishing a guy every game to make those decisions for us. So, all right, I got a lot more content coming out soon. Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or ideas on communications, make sure to bring them up, and we'll start implementing. So, all right, thanks, guys.